from here on out, starting with this monologue, I'm going back to the 15-minute monologues. I don't have as much time to record and make content as much as I used to. It's just life. You know, when the media is not a real career, it's just a hobby. You're not making any money off of it. You got to work a real job. And I talked about this a lot before. You got to work a real job, and there's just other personal things that you got to take care of, especially when you're not making any money off of this. Anyhow, it is what it is. MLS in general is evolving. MLS is finally, well, I won't say finally, they have been doing a lot to promote their brand. So I can't say finally. They're continuing to do more to promote their brand. And Apple is helping. If you've been to the Apple website lately, not appletv.com, but just apple.com, as soon as you go there is a big MLS promotion. I'm not sure if it's still there, but it was there last week. It's just a big banner on apple.com promoting MLS in general. And that is the kind of promotion that will help more people become familiar with Major League Soccer and help people realize that NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, those are not the only major professional sports leagues in America. You also got MLS. Now, speaking of MLS, the replacement refs, in my opinion, they haven't been so bad. In my opinion, I think they focus a little too much on offsides. Like, they want to make sure they get it right. And there have been a few times where a player scored and he was not offsides, but the refs still called them offsides. But thank goodness for VAR. It's helped them to, get the call right at the end. And also the physicality, like they give yellow. There's been a few times where they give yellow cards to players where it was just a little tap or just the slightest touch foul. So they need I think the replacement refs just need to relax a little bit. I think they're a little too tense, probably a little too nervous, worried about criticism. Overall, besides those two minor issues I have with them, I don't really see a big difference between the replacement refs and the pro refs. And if I was in charge of this whole referee situation in MLS, I would consider keeping the replacement refs at least until Leagues Cup. Let's just see how they continue to perform leading up to Leagues Cup, and if they're still showing signs of improvement, or if they still remain as decent as they are, I would consider keeping them through Leagues Cup. And if they stay through Leagues Cup, you might as well just keep them for the entire season, because I really don't see a big difference between the replacement refs and the pro refs. Pro refs made a lot of mistakes and a lot of controversial calls in the past. I really don't see a big difference. So if I'm MLS, I will consider keeping them at least until the Leagues Cup. Keep them through the first half of the season. And then we reevaluate everything once we get closer to Leagues Cup, like after 4th of July. CONCACAF Champions Cup. I like the fact that all of MLS is finally taking the CCC to heart. In the past, in these early rounds, MLS clubs played their reserve players, which is one of the reasons why the Haitians was able to eliminate Austin in the first round last year. Because in the first leg, Austin played their backup players, and then they waited into the second leg to put in their starters. But in this year's, every MLS team is playing their starters. And that's good. Because the CCC is your gateway to becoming a global champion. You win the CCC, you're the continental champion. And you have an automatic ticket to participate in the Club World Cup, where you play against everybody's favorite European team and everybody's favorite South American team. But besides those groups, you play the world. It's an opportunity to showcase your brand to the world. And also become the global champion. Club World Cup, that's the highest level in domestic soccer leagues throughout the world. Club World Cup is bigger than UEFA Champions League and FA Cup and Copa America. Because Club World Cup is the global champion. It's not just regional or continental champion. Club World Cup is the global champion. You are the best team in the entire world. You are the best of the best. That's what Club World Cup's about. And it's good to see MLS teams finally taking the CCC to heart. Because it's the CCC that'll get you to the Club World Cup. And it's time for the world to become more familiar with MLS. The world seeing MLS participate in global competitions more often. Now is the time to start preparing for such. For the world to see. And continuing on my talk of what's going on in the world of football before I get into the main message. Paul Pogba. Something just don't seem right with his whole situation. I think there might be some foul play involved. Some backstabbing involved. I believe there may have been some people behind the scenes trying to set him up to take that drug in order for him to be in the situation that he's in today. If he did take steroids, it was unknowingly. And he was misinformed. I strongly believe that. It's hard for me to believe that players in today's society, with the amount of information and the amount of technology and resources available, it's hard for me to believe that they will knowingly take a drug that's illegal, especially a guy like Paul Pogba, a global icon, a very popular guy. It's hard for me to believe that he will jeopardize his career like that. I don't believe that he knowingly and forcefully took those drugs, knowing the consequences in mind. I just don't believe it. Well, that's all I have to say about that for now. I'll probably talk about it again another time. Probably like after the appeal process. We'll see. Now, the main message. Before I get into the main message, let's take a look at this.
Se va a quedar en la MLS, mañana va a ser anunciado, o sería anunciado de manera oficial. Se queda en California, pero en San Jose Earthquakes. No va a seguir en el AFC.
Bajón.
No va al Galaxy porque
Bajón gacho,
es el rival. Va al San Jose Earthquakes. Mañana sería anunciado ya como jugador de,
en lugar de
la
Cabo.
franquicia. Pues mira, a ocupar ese lugar. Digo, obviamente Vela seguramente llegará como jugador franquicia.
Digo, pero eso ya lo esperabas, ¿no? Que no regresara a México.
Sí, yo yo no lo veía. Vela no
para él
quería
está de
jugar
maravilla
acá.
porque está en California.
No, si él
para
hubiese
el
querido
equipo
regresar,
mejor,
ya estaría acá.
Porque puede hacer algo. El equipo que no ha hecho nada que los 5 años que estuvo Almeida, etcétera, etcétera. Pero sí es un bajón para Carlos Vela, ¿eh? Sí.
Pero ¿no? Sí, pero va a seguir viviendo muy contento. Va a tener NBA, va a cobrar en dólares.
Pues también aquí se puede ir a Yucatán, a Mérida, a Expansión, se vive de maravilla.
Yo creo que,
fíjate, es precioso.
Yo creo que Carlos Vela va a ser el primer
Cancún,
seleccionado mexicano que se va a retirar sin haber jugado en México.
Igual puede ser hasta lo que haga ahí en San José puede también resaltarse mucho, ¿no? Cuando no hay ninguna expectativa en un equipo y todo puede ser la gran figura que los catapulte.
Pues sí. Yo sigo pensando que no es nada más por vivir bonito, ¿eh?
You see San Jose Earthquakes. What you should learn from this video, this clip of the Mexicans making a mockery of your organization, your entire team, by the way, is even though you made the playoffs last year, the job is not finished. The race is not over. You see San Jose Earthquakes. A lot of people don't view you as a major contender in anything, not only in the Supporter Shield race. They definitely don't view you as a MLS Cup title contender. You're not viewed as a US Open Cup contender. You're never expected to make the CCC. You're not expected to win the League's Cup. And you're never expected to make an appearance in the Club World Cup or the Campeones Cup. You see San Jose Earthquakes. A lot of people view you as an amateur club. A lot of people don't view you as a historical American soccer pioneer. They don't view you as a club that paved the way for other clubs in Northern California, like Sacramento Republic and like the Oakland Roots. They don't view you as a club that paved the way for the Seattle Sounders and the Portland Timbers and the Vancouver Whitecaps and LAFC and San Diego and St. Louis to enter MLS. They just view you as some other MLS club. They don't view you as a true rival to LA Galaxy. As a matter of fact, many people don't believe that you should even be playing on the same field as LA Galaxy. They don't view you as LA Galaxy's oldest arch rival. As LAFC, El Tráfico is the rivalry that many people look forward to. They don't look forward to seeing Cali Classico in their minds, Cali Classico is like some kind of manufactured MLS rivalry. They don't think they think there's no passion. They think it's inauthentic. Some of them they question why is this game even being played at Stanford? Isn't a MLS match that is played at a college football stadium, shouldn't it be like between two really good teams? San Jose Earthquakes, as you continue this race in the 2020s, it's your job to change the perception. The only way you change that negative perception about you is by winning. It's by winning. And not only by winning, San Jose Earthquakes, you got to start winning in dominant fashion. No mercy. Being fully aggressive. And you did try to recruit some high-level players this offseason, but they didn't want to come to you. Why? Because the perception about you, the negative perception, has affected your reality. I don't believe that perception is reality, because the perception is that you're a bad team and you're not a bad team. But the perception is that you're a bad team, and it has affected your image, which has made it hard for you to recruit good players. A lot of people believe that it was an upgrade for Kay Cowell to leave your club and to join the Liga MX club that he entered this winter. It's your job to change that negative perception. That when somebody leaves the San Jose Earthquakes, instead of people saying, oh, it's an upgrade that he's leaving San Jose, they'll say he learned a lot from San Jose. And San Jose prepared him to be a great player. San Jose helped him to mature. San Jose taught him some new skills. San Jose molded him into becoming a champion. Instead of people saying, good, he's leaving San Jose finally. How did he stay on that team for so long? You got to change that perception, San Jose. Nobody can change that perception but you. And you do that by winning. You know, big matches like this, where LA Galaxy is a heavy favorite and you're the heavy underdog. This is when you send a message. Last week's game against Dallas, that was a close loss. You played really hard. But when people see the score, it was like, oh, same old San Jose. Of course, Dallas should have won that game. They played against San Jose. That's the perception. You have to change that negative perception. You say you want to do it for the Bay. Doing it for the Bay means winning championships. You see the 49ers. You see the Warriors. They win championships. You cannot do it for the Bay if you're not winning championships. So this new era of San Jose Earthquakes football, the standard and the expectation is championships. Western Conference Championship, Supporter Shield, MLS Cup, US Open Cup, Leagues Cup, CCC Championship, Club World Cup Championship. Campeones Cup Championship. That's what this new era of San Jose Earthquake football is about. And you do have that mindset because I see you play. But the nation, when I say the nation, I'm talking about the continent, because you see how the Mexicans, they view you. They view you as a joke of a franchise. They don't think you're a serious franchise. They think it's a downgrade for anybody to choose to play for your organization. While it's an upgrade if they go play for LA Galaxy or LAFC. But they go play for San Jose, people question like, why you want to go there for? You gotta change that perception by winning championships. And that's what doing it for the Bay is about. Now I'm gonna go more into detail about what it means to do it for the Bay later on this year. But I'll just close it on this. You're not doing it for the Bay if you're not competing for championships. Because doing it for the Bay does not equate to losing. But doing it for the Bay means you're winning championships. I said enough about LA Galaxy last week, so LA Galaxy knows, they know what the expectation is for them. I really don't have to say anything to LA Galaxy in this monologue, because they know what the expectation is. But I'm just here to remind you, San Jose Earthquake, the perception is that you are a joke of a franchise, that you're an amateur, that you're not a major professional soccer club, and it's your job this decade to kill that negative perception that's affecting your reality and that's preventing you from recruiting high-level players. And it starts Saturday night, Cali Classico, against your arch rival, LA Galaxy. Let's continue this race, because there's a whole lot of work to do. It's going to take this entire decade to kill that perception. And you kill that by winning championships and beating your opponents in dominant fashion. The same high level of energy that you had against Dallas. We need that every game for the rest of this season. For the rest of your livelihood. Not only for the rest of this decade, but because, yes, I would just stick to 2020s. For the rest of this decade, we need that. Every game, every practice, every conditioning session, every weight training session, every film session. You have to be locked in. Because it's this negative perception that is going to hold you back from doing it for the Bay. You kill that negative perception by dominating opponents and winning championships. So let's continue this race. Running strong in another Bay versus LA series against the Galaxy. Like you said, this is bigger than Bay versus LA. And it is. Because you have the Mexicans making a mockery of you. Which means the continent thinks little of you. But how about you shut them up in this Cali Classico matchup on Saturday night? Shut them up.